You know that moment that made the whole world stop for a moment just to stare at one face? Yes, that's exactly what happened when BTS's Jungkook visuals reappeared not on concert screens, not in TV commercials, but in the skies of the world's major cities. From New York to Tokyo, from Seoul to Paris, giant billboards showcase the latest collaboration between Jungkook and Calvin Klein. But wait, this isn't just another campaign. Because what appears on the surface is just the culmination of something much bigger, a global phenomenon of culture, lifestyle, and power that even a Calvin Klein brand can't ignore. The pictures are so mesmerizing. Jungkook stands in the middle of the night city light, dressed in classic denim with a cold but lively modern aura. In Times Square, a 3D digital screen displays Jungkook's slow-motion movements, stepping slowly, as if staring back at the audience. People stopped on the sidewalk, pulled out their phones, recorded, and in a matter of hours, the name Jungkook Calvin Klein was already trending around the world. But what's even more interesting is not just the billboard, it's the message behind it. Why did Calvin Klein choose to put Jungkook in a global campaign of this magnitude now? What is the strategy behind its concurrent visual presence in the 5 most influential cities in the world? And most importantly, how could this one man from Busan change the way the world views fashion, music, even modern identity? Let's dive deeper. Imagine you are standing in the middle of Times Square. Hundreds of digital screens light up, ads change every second, but suddenly all the attention is on one face. Jungkook appeared there, not with exaggerated expressions or forced poses, but with a calm, confident, almost hypnotic look. The Calvin Klein billboard is not just an advertisement, it's a statement. In Seoul, similar billboards appeared in the Gangnam Quarter, an icon of Korean modernity. In Tokyo, right at the Shibuya crossing, one of the busiest intersections in the world, a large screen showed Jungkook slowly unfurling his denim jacket, accompanied by the bold inscription, Calvin Klein x Jungkook 2025. In Paris, the campaign appeared near the Champs-Élysées, and in New York, similar visuals floated over Broadway. 5 big cities, 5 different languages, but one message in common. Jungkook isn't just an ambassador, he's a global symbol. Industry analysts have called this campaign one of the most effective visual expansions in Calvin Klein's history. Because usually, brands place celebrities to target certain markets. But Jungkook, he crossed that line. Data shows that within 48 hours of its billboard launch, searches for Calvin Klein Jungkook jumped 540% globally. Even sales of men's denim rose significantly in the Asian and Latin American markets. Interestingly, many fashion watchers point out that it's not just Jungkook's looks that make the campaign viral, but his visual style and atmosphere, because every billboard feels like a short film trailer. And perhaps that's where Calvin Klein's genius hides. They don't just sell products, they sell experiences, and Jungkook became a living symbol of that aesthetic. The world seems to agree. When Jungkook appears in the sky of your city, it's not just an advertisement. It's a sign that trends are changing. Uniquely, there is no big tagline. There are no slogans, feel sexy or live free. Just a name, Jungkook, Calvin Klein. 2 words, 1 visual, but the effect is like a hurricane. This is a classic example of the power of silent branding, where images speak louder than words. Calvin Klein knows Jungkook is not just any brand ambassador. He is a figure known for charismatic silence. Not much to say in front of the camera, but once appeared, everything stopped. This style is in line with Calvin Klein's minimalist philosophy that has been in their DNA since the 1970 seconds. Less talk, more presence. But in the digital age of 2025, the effect will be multiplied. While other influencers were busy talking and explaining, Jungkook just stood, staring at the camera, and the world was instantly captivated. In an interview with Vogue Korea magazine, a creative director of Calvin Klein said, "We didn't choose Jungkook just because of his global fame, but because he is the new definition of strong silence. It doesn't sell a product, it represents the feeling that everyone wants to feel." And sure enough, on social media, the hashtag number Jungkook Calvin Klein was filled with comments, reflecting that, "I don't know why, but just looking at the billboard makes me feel more confident. She is not a model, she is a mood." From the perspective of marketing psychology, this is a rare phenomenon because its emotional influence appears without text or narration. Jungkook billboards rely on a deep visual atmosphere. Dim lighting, monochrome colors, a slight reflection of neon light. That style makes the campaign feel cinematic, not commercial. The result? The world doesn't feel like it's being told to buy something. The world feels called to be part of something. What happens next is something that even Calvin Klein may not have fully planned. Jungkook's billboards are turning into a place of digital pilgrimage. People come just to take pictures in front of him. In Times Square, armies from different countries gather at night just to watch the billboards light up. They quietly sang Seven under the giant screen, creating an atmosphere that felt more like a historical moment than just a brand promotion. In Tokyo, pedestrians stared at Jungkook's billboards and recorded short videos with captions such as, "The world stops when he appears." In Seoul, subway stations even put up visual replicas of them as part of an additional campaign, and subway tickets themed Calvin Klein x Jungkook edition ran out in a matter of hours. It's no longer about fashion, it's already a cultural phenomenon. Other big brands are starting to take notice. How can a campaign create this much social impact without a concert, without a speech, without a big event? The answer lies in something deeper: identification. Jungkook is not just the face of Calvin Klein. He is a mirror of the desires of modern man. Free, confident, but still mysterious. With each billboard, Jungkook builds a global narrative about the meaning of freedom in the connected digital age. It erases the boundaries between artist and audience, between fashion and emotion, between advertising and artwork. His billboards not only show the body, but present a visual soul that speaks without language. And perhaps that's where his greatest power is, to make the world stop for a moment to feel. This is called the Jungkook effect. When one figure can change the way the world sees something as simple as a billboard into something monumental. Calvin Klein may be advertising, but the world sees it as an event. And if you think this is just a campaign this season, wait until 2026, because from what it looks like now, the skyline of the world's major cities will probably continue to be the stage for one name that continues to keep all eyes on him. Jungkook. Jungkook has turned into a symbol of the transition between the world of K-pop and the fashion world of the Western elite. And what is even more surprising, many industry analysts believe this moment is not planned per se, but part of a big change that has long been prepared. Jungkook's billboard doesn't just signify the popularity of a star. It is a sign of the changing creative economy of the world, how one figure from Asia can shift the global limelight through just one black and white image. When Calvin Klein chose Jungkook as its global face, many thought it was just a marketing strategy. But now, in 2025, the effect is much greater. Sales increased. Calvin Klein's digital traffic soared by 400%. And more than that, Korean pop culture managed to break through geographical boundaries that were once considered impossible. But every big step has consequences. There were those who were not happy. There were competitors who began to tremble. And there were also media who questioned, is it still about fashion, or has it become about power? Well, tonight, we're going to dissect everything. From visual concepts designed with millimeter precision, to business decisions that quietly change the map of global dominance. This is the story behind the Jungkook 10 Calvin Klein billboard that shook the world. A story of strategy, image power, and cultural impact that not even Hollywood can match. Ready? Let's start with the first question that has left the industry speechless. How can one face change the entire dynamics of global marketing in just a matter of days? Not just advertising, but a global strategy designed to change the world of fashion. When Jungkook's billboard first appeared in Times Square, most people thought it was just a follow-up Calvin Klein campaign, just as they once involved Justin Bieber or Kendall Jenner. But in reality, there is a big difference here, and it all lies in who Jungkook is, as well as what he carries with him. Jungkook is not just a new face, he is a symbol of a new era. Before this campaign was launched, Calvin Klein was already experiencing a period of stagnation in market growth in the Asian region. They needed a figure who could cross demographic boundaries, someone who was accepted by the younger generation of the West, as well as having a magnetic force in Asia. And Jungkook, with his career already penetrating the global music market, is an almost too perfect choice. Interestingly, the visual concept of this campaign was created with incredible precision. Monochrome colors, soft but decisive lighting, as well as a focus on Jungkook's natural body that is not made up, all send the same message. It's not about the body, it's about authenticity. Fashion analysts call it a form of aesthetic rebellion, a visual rebellion against the overly polished standards of Hollywood glamour. But on the other hand, many also see this as a new form of domination, when Asian figures begin to uncompromisingly take over the aesthetics of Western brands. The effect? Brutal. In the first 48 hours after the billboard appeared, social media was full of hashtags like #JungkookCK and #CK Global Takeover. In Korea, Japan and Brazil, Jungkook's billboards were photographed and uploaded millions of times, creating a wave of organic promotion at no extra cost on the part of Calvin Klein. And this is where the most interesting thing happened. CK executives realized they are no longer in control of this campaign. The world, especially Jungkook's fans, did it. This is the reason why some media outlets wrote that Jungkook is not just the face of the campaign, but a global phenomenon that controls the direction of the brand narrative. But did everything go smoothly? No. Behind the euphoria, a serious question arises in large fashion editorial spaces. Does Jungkook's presence mean a permanent shift in the way the industry views icons? Because if so, it's not just advertising. It's a revolution. Unstoppable domino effect. As Billboard Jungkook changes the data and narrative of the world. After the launch of billboards in more than 20 major cities, Jungkook's effect began to be measurable in concrete terms. Calvin Klein's sales jumped sharply, especially in the underwear and denim categories, two lines that were the main visual focus in the campaign. But what really stunned analysts was not just the sales figures, but the way the public interpreted Jungkook's image. It wasn't just a model, it became a social phenomenon. On TikTok, content-themed CK Jungkook look reaches billions of views. In e-commerce, Jungkook-style similar products sold out in just a matter of hours. This isn't typical consumer behavior, it's a form of emotional engagement between brand and fandom identity. Even more extreme, a number of academics from America and South Korea researched this phenomenon and called it the Jungkook effect, a term to explain how the influence of one figure can modify brand perception even without the need to speak directly about the product. And for Calvin Klein, it was like finding a gold mine. They began to adjust their marketing strategies based on the real-time reactions of fans on social media. This means that Billboard is no longer just a passive medium, it has become an engine of cultural interaction. But this is where the tension starts to feel. Several other brands, including major competitors such as Dior and Prada, began to feel threatened. They see Jungkook's dominance in CK as a warning that one K-pop star is now capable of shifting the narrative of the global fashion industry. In fact, rumors say some brands are starting to hunt down other Korean artists to try to duplicate the Jungkook effect. But can that effect be duplicated? The observers doubted. Because what makes Jungkook's Billboard so powerful is not just the visuals, but the social context. Jungkook comes from a world of music, a world of emotional meaning, stories of struggle, and personal connections with fans. So when her face appears on a billboard, it's not just a model's face, it's a symbol of the collective journey between idol and the public. In one word, authentic. Jungkook's billboards not only showcase the human body, but bring honesty and charisma that can't be bought. And in a world increasingly filled with false imagery, visual honesty like this is the rarest and most expensive thing. If you're ready, I can move on to the next part of the narrative. HYBE is starting to panic because Jungkook's billboard is now stronger than the brand itself.